Right, it's December 2nd, 2011. Time marches on. None of us can turn the clock backwards. I was formulating a lot of stuff this morning, talking about, the politics, how presidents get protection, When you build up a large crowd, the Secret Service automatically jumps in when large crowds start to appear around a presidential candidate. When I was at the 99 percenters downtown, instead of them gathering around and forming a huge crowd, they didn't, they don't get it. You have to literally explain to people how presidential protection works, why candidates get presidential protection. There was one time when my twin was talking at the Dallas convention many years ago during the Reagan-Mondale thing. I think that was 1984. And he was talking on the stage, and about 800 people gathered, and he managed to really get them. And what made them gather was he talked about the Bilderberg. He talked about the big corporations. He talked about the big money. He talked about the stuff that was the truth. So all of a sudden, two Secret Service agents jump up on the stage. In actual fact, this is where he and me got the idea, or first heard the idea, about using planes to fly into buildings with explosives. Because it was told later on, unbeknownst to him, the security forces for the United States had jumped on the stage not because of the crowd he had gathered, but because some Libyan terrorist had been caught at a nearby airport who had a plane loaded with explosives and was going to fly it into the Republican convention. Now, this is a story that you can verify and substantiate if you really want to. But what I'm here to really talk about is me. Like I met him back in 1984. I was much younger then, about 10 years younger than him. And what he said to me and told me all about the stuff that, as a matter of fact, he had met Jimmy Carter in Plains, Georgia. Not while he was president, but, afterwards. And much of the stuff that I started formulating was formulated about the government and about how the media controls the government, how they skew the news towards talking about, I'm trying to get this camera angle done right, about talking about all of the inconsistencies, all of the failures that this government has had. Change of subject. Joe Stack flew his plane into an into that tax building in Austin, Texas. He wrote a 5-page letter. In the letter, he mentions, and it's nothing new, it's known about by everybody, that insanity, he said, quote unquote, insanity is the practice of doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you will get different results. And that's exactly what the Democratic and Republican and independent parties throughout the whole country are doing. The electoral system, the way you vote your officials in without any safeguards. You have no safeguards for voting these people into office. The only safeguard is the media. The media splashing Herman Cain, and because he was a womanizer. Kennedy was a womanizer too. So why are you jumping on him? And then all of a sudden this woman pops up for Henry Cain saying that he had a relationship with her for 13 years. And here's his wife hearing this crap. This is, if you're not prepared to deal with all of the mud that they're going to dig up on you, which is, then you shouldn't be running for any office. They dug up tons. They have tons and tons and tons of mud and horrible things that they could say about my older twin. And when I say twin, I mean, we both resemble each other very, very closely. You would be surprised how much we resemble each other. But the real message I'm trying to get across to all of the people of the United States is, why are you being so stupid? You want to continue doing this stuff. You want to continue working just like this, and it's not going to work. The bottom line here is that you have to think outside the box. The government of the United States, the International Monetary Fund, the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the jerk-off big corporations, they have the money. The 99 percenters, they're so full of crap, it's not even funny. They're doing the same thing in supposedly a protest that the regular people are doing. They're not going to change anything. I told them that as soon as, even if the government instituted new tax things overnight, the banks and the big corporations have the money to hire CPAs that are extremely intelligent, and they'll find a way around the new tax laws. I don't care who you are. If you have the money, you'll find a way. And if you can't find a way, you know what those businesses and banks will do? They'll close their doors and move outside the country. They'll go down to Mexico, or they're going offshore to Nassau or Haiti, or whatever country will accept them that allow them to do business the way they want to do it, because the world is big business. It isn't politics. It's big business. And this is why the Bilderberg Group and the Trilateral Commission are so evil, because they're doing the same thing the people are doing. They're thinking inside the box. You got a universe that is huge out there, and you're never going to build a starship or be able to really explore the planets so long as you think inside this tiny little nutshell, this egg's nest that you've built for yourself. And at the same time, you violate and you prevent new ideas from flowering, from becoming the vanguard of a new civilization. Hitler was right. He was right. There is a master race. There really is. But it isn't the Aryan race, and it's not the Mexicans, and it's not the blacks, and it's not the Asians, and it's not any of these people. Yeah, there is a master race. You wonder who the master race is? I'll tell you. The master race are all of the people who genetically show the signs of superior intelligence. That is the master race. And because of that superior intelligence, those same masterminds are the same kind of people who take on the responsibility of taking care of those that haven't reached that level yet, and are respectful of their lives as well. That is the master race. You, Mr. Obama, you, Mr. Biden, you, Mr. President of France, all you jerk-off leaders, that's all you are. You're just jerk-offs. You're just jerking the people off with the big money. And everybody is a slave. You're a slave to this money. When the oil companies continue going up on the price, hey, you know what? Let's breed horses. Dump the cars on the street, wherever you find them, and go start riding a horse. Screw the oil companies. As soon as you start doing that, you're going to see the oil companies on their knees going, well, what do we do? Shut down all the oil refining plants? What do we do? They're going to go back to horses. That means the only thing they're going to need from us is grease for the axles of the wagons that the horses will pull. Or hitch your horses up to the car you're driving. But I'd say to be humane to the horses, to make sure that the car is a real light car, because horses don't like pulling heavy crap around. I mean, how would you like it if you had to pull a 5,000-pound car around with a bunch of horse reins? We're 8 minutes into this video. Is that what it says? Yeah, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. So I only have a few more minutes. So I want to tell you, what does it take to wake you people up? Nothing. You want to, so long as you have a database, a rental house, a rental apartment to operate from. By the way, it's an apartment and a house that if you don't own it, you're a slave. You're a slave to the landlord, and the landlord is a slave to the banks. It isn't how much money you can get the banks to pay in extra taxes. It's overthrowing the government, period. State, federal, and local. Kick them all out. Spain did it. I don't think it's impossible for the United States to overthrow everybody literally overnight. You could do it. You would have to reinstall the Constitution. You'd have to allow the several states, all 50 states, to continue doing their business as usual. But at the federal and state level, you would have to institute new safeguards, emergency safeguards, that would now be different. And it would be different in such a way, God, every time I let go, you have to, this is really a hassle. You have to hold on to the mouse. Otherwise, you lose the screen. You lose the picture. And I don't even know if it stopped recording. It's like these computers are so sensitive. It's like, let's talk about cell phones for a minute. And the reason that happens is because my screen went blank just now. I hate those cell phones with the run your finger across the screen. Here, run your finger across the screen to dial a phone number by pushing buttons on the screen. Okay, I mean, come on. I mean, you have to be like Bambi, Twinkle Toes, and if you press an 8 on one of those slide, cell phones, and the other number comes up, 7 or 8 or whatever, and I'm going, no, give me the buttons, give me the keyboard button. Pretty soon they're going to give you a keyboard that has just a faceplate. They already have done that with the slide, the book things, whatever they call them. I mean, you people are going nuts. You don't know when to stop the technology. Certain technologies should be stopped if they have a proven track record of working very well. Then what are you doing trying to make it more difficult? It's more difficult to use a cell phone with that sliding face than it is the buttons. The buttons, you've pressed number 8. If number 8 doesn't come up, then you know something's wrong with your cell phone. And then you've got iPhones, cell phones, blah, 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 blah. I mean, how much technology can you feed the public before it becomes ludicrous? Heck, you can't even talk to people anymore. You have to talk to somebody on YouTube, or you have to send messages to each other on stinking lousy Twitter or Facebook, and the media actually feeds it. Oh, the media is the biggest culprit of all. They're taking front center stage now on all of this. You hear the news always say, oh, you can get your opinion over on Facebook and Twitter. Hey, my opinion isn't heard. People don't care jack crap about me running for president, or about me overthrowing the country, or about any of the stuff I say. They don't care. You know what people care about? The 99%ers got evicted out of City Hall. You know what they care about? Being seen on TV. Being seen on TV for like 1 or 2 minutes getting arrested. They go home and go, look, hon, I'm getting arrested. Wow, I'm on TV. Is that the only way you're going to get? If you're going to do that kind of idiotic philosophy, then go get in a plane and fly into a building. Go blow up a building. Go do something really, really big. Go rob a bank. I mean, that would definitely get you on TV if not killed at the same time. The point I'm making is, you're all ludicrous. The President of the United States, the mayors, the governors, you're all playing with fire. And it's going to blow up in your face one day. I mean, big time. You think the earthquakes in Washington, D.C. are just coincidence? Remember Nostradamus predicting the future? None of you are as educated as I am. I have a background in biology. I've gone into the think outside the box quantum physics, think outside the box chaos physics. I've managed to put a puzzle together that if I talked on national TV, I would convince every person in the United States. I convert them from being Christians, Muslims, Jews, any religion you come up with. I'd convert them literally overnight if they possess any real super educated intelligence. And most people don't. They prefer to wallow in the mudstream of interpretations by the apostles of Christ, because Christ never wrote anything, or Mohammed, or Odin, the Viking gods, Jupiter, the Roman gods. I mean, we can go on talking about all this. Joseph Campbell talks about all this, myths and ideologies. You people need to crap or get off the box. You're all bamboozling yourselves. You set wheels in motion to hurt me for years and years and years. I presume that if I ever got attention, they try and dig into my past. You know what? They won't find anything on my past. They'll find plenty on other people closely associated with me, but they won't find anything on me. And this is what they like doing. I'll talk to you in a minute. It's part 2.